find any other.
Here we go. Wait.
Python shell thing, the diggers.
What?
Spider. Adam.
No, I didn't have time to look. Yesterday was a very busy day for me.
Gotcha.
All right. So again, we have two types of files: binary files and plain text files. Which one can we open and read no problem?
Plain text.
Plain text files. Yes. Binary files they're more complex. So we can open files two different ways. If we have a path object pointing to a specific file, or if we use an absolute path as a string. So we use the command to say, hey, here's a command, open this file at this exact location. Or we have an object that contains the path file and the file name that we then say write and read from. So again, we're going to review the new way that the book tells us, and then we're going to do the way that I learned how to do it in college and the way I'm more used to doing it. So what we're going to do is, again, we need from path lib. Oh, it is on. Yeah, there's a doc. There we go. So from path lib, import path as path. Oh yeah, from. You want a little bit of my protein bar?
Elevation bar?
From Aldi, dude, these things are like the best.
I get kind bars. Makes me nice.
Yeah. It has the opposite effect on me.
Makes you kind.
There's a big difference.
Is there a difference? Maybe.
All right. So from path lib, import path as path, because I don't like having to write an uppercase path. What is my current working directory? Path dot, no, it's os dot current working. I don't know. They switched this up. Okay, so I am where I want to be. I am in the student resources folder with my current working directory. You guys need to change your current working directory, and that's os.change dir. And in here, you put the file path of where you want to be.
What if you want to change the default one?
What do you mean the default one?
Like the default, so we don't have to do the chdr.
You can't do that unless you've installed Python in a different location. So your shell current working directory will always be the file location of that executable. But when you're writing your own files, because I don't want you guys to see my regex, in here you go import path or whatever. So you do all that, and then you just put os dot change dir, and you put it in here. So, and then you have your code going. So you have to physically change it, or you open the file wherever it's saved. So that sounded awesome.
If you want to use OS, you have to do os.get current working directory, and that gives you the full path without the Windows path garbage.
That's what it was. Okay. So from path lib, import path as path, and then we're going to print. I knew there was a way to do it. I knew it wasn't insane. os.get current working directory. Thank you. Import OS. Oh yeah, because I have a.
Got it. Bam.
So my file is saved, and so wherever it's saved, that is the current working directory. With your shell, if you're only in the shell, the current working directory by default of the shell is the location on your computer where that file is located, where the executable is located, and that's always going to be I think it's
37 to 32.
Yeah. So oh no, everything's already imported. You guys tracking with me so far? Okay. So we are going to do So os dot no path dot current working directory. Okay, so I'm in my Python scripts. I'm gonna make sure that that's where I need everything to be. Python scripts, that is good enough. I'm gonna open my example text. So we're gonna go p is path. Now why do I'm just typing path because it assumes the path to the current working directory. It assumes that's all it is. It's taking my current working directory, making it a path object, and it's adding example1.txt to the end. So if I do p Windows path, it's not giving me the full thing because I'm in my current working directory. I'm not going to another file.
Should we be typing this in the shell or in a document?
Either or. This just helps me so I don't have to keep running it and switching between the two. And you guys can see the code and the output. So I think it's easier for me to demonstrate up here, but if you guys want to actually save it, I would run it in a console. In the console, yeah.
Which one do you want us to open? KJV.
We'll start with Harry Potter. So all we're then going to do, actually if you have a blank text file, because we're going to read and write to it first, I don't want you to write to the Harry Potter just yet. So Windows path, we're going to go p.write_text. And what do you want to say, Josh? And then if we do p.read_text, sup. Now what happens if we do what do you guys notice?
Overrides it completely.
It automatically overwrites it. So with this path, you can't necessarily append to something. Maybe you can. Hang on. What if we do? Yeah. No, yeah, we can't. Doesn't look like we can add to it. So that is the way you can read and write very simply, very quickly to a file. Now, what if we want to keep adding stuff to it, right? It's a log file. We don't want to rewrite. We don't want to erase every error with the new one. We don't want to erase the previous one. We want to keep a log of everything. Does that make sense? So we want to keep adding to something as opposed to rewriting it. Does that make sense? As to like why we would want to ever do that? Yeah? Or a list of high scores. You just want to keep adding whoever plays, you get in the high score. If you don't get a negative score, you're in the high scoreboard. You're just not that good. So now, and this is the way that this is how I did coding. This is how I opened it. All we do is, again, I do open file because this is the file I want to open. I use the open command, and in here is this is my file path. Because I'm in the same current working directory as example 1, I don't need an absolute file path because it's looking in my current working directory already.
The Bible.
If your current working directory is your Python scripts and your Bible is in there, yes. Again, don't write text to the Bible because you may overwrite it. So if you have an example text, or a really easy way to get a text document wherever your current working directory is you navigate to it here, you click new and text document, and then you name it whatever you want.
Can you do that in isn't it os.mkdir?
That makes a folder.
Oh, yeah.
So I think do you have to have the text file already created? I can't remember.
I feel like you should be.
I can't remember. But that's a really quick and easy way to make a text file if you need one, is you just right click in that area in the current working directory. And you can do this with a Word document. You can do this with a bunch of stuff. We're just going to do it with a folder. So once you have that, now you can read and write to it, and it doesn't matter what just happened. Oh, I clicked help on accident. So once you've opened the file, there's two things you can do. Open file .read. Good night. It's an empty tab. It's empty. Okay. If we do, let me make sure it's empty.
Don't you have to? Isn't it weird?
Yeah. Yeah, you can only read it once. Yeah. But open file.close, and then if you open it again, I'm an idiot. And then you close it. So in order to have to prevent from opening, reading, closing, opening, reading, closing, what we'll do is we'll open the file. We will set a variable content equals all of that, and now content is that text saved. So now what I can do is I can import re, regex is re.compile, and I'm looking for AI, and then I can go mo equals regex.search, and in here content, and it finds it. So yeah.
Is content still like mutable? Like meaning that if you change the original file, content will change, or is it locked in?
No, it's locked in. It's a string, so you can't change it.
Sweet.
Yeah. So this is how you search a 10,000 line file without even opening it yourself. You just have the code open it, you have the code search it, you have the code display information. So this is what you're going to need to do for the Harry Potter and the Bible. Right? You're going to have to find that one word, pocketed it, and display the sentence that it's in. I don't want anything else besides the sentence that it is in, not the sentence before, not the sentence after, just the sentence it's in, and everything in that sentence. So if there's 15 words before pocketed it, your code needs to find those 15 words, or if it has one word before it, you need to find that sentence. Same thing as if it has 15 words after it or 2 words after it, you need to find the whole sentence. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Now again, there are different, you have read line, and read lines. That's annoying, right?
Yeah.
So
How do you spell pocket it?
pocket ed it. Like this. Pocketed it.
Oh, separate.
Yeah, two separate words. Don't work on that now. I'll give you time. I want to go through the difference between read and read lines. I can't remember the difference between read line and read lines. So that's going to be a quick Google search.
It's in the summary section of automated reporting stuff.
It's in the actual summary.
Yeah, it says the open function can open these files, blah blah blah, or as a list of strings with the read lines method.
Yeah, so you have read and read lines. Read lines puts everything in a list. Read puts everything in a string. But there is read line, which I'm not sure what it does. And I don't think this is long enough, so let me, where's my current, let me change something real quick.
One entire line from the file, trailing new line characters kept in the string. No idea what that means.
Let's read it again.
Python file method readline reads one entire line from the file. A trailing new line character is kept in the string. If the size argument is present and non-negative, it is a maximum byte count including the trailing new line, and an incomplete line may be returned.
All right, we are just going to
Yeah, that's one of mine.
open file. Instead of example, we're gonna go with Harry Potter because I think that's shorter. What's the name of that file? Actual lowercase Harry space Potter. Okay. .txt. So open file dot read is read. I don't know if this will work.
Find the first string.
No, okay, but
You're trying to get like the first 1,000 characters.
yeah, just so it doesn't display all of it at once and crash my computer. So, which it will do. File.close. So now I'm just gonna do this again. Harry Potter.
Does the lines make it so it actually does the backslash?
Okay. And now open file.
Also the fact that I want the other 7 books, so I can.
I don't know if it's right, dude.
Okay, so we have read, and this is gonna give us the first 1,000 characters as one long string. Notice backslash ends are new lines, and those are kept in the actual string itself. If we do a read and we do the first 1,000 characters of that, oh, I'm sorry, not read line. Notice the first line, literally read line. And then if we had read lines bracket okay, so we're gonna go to first 10. Wow, so let's do fourth thing in read line print thing. So this is
Every paragraph.
1, 2,
Dang, that just
3, 4,
made me
5.
want to pirate every.
Well, it's not
Why is
every,
my
it's
name
every
there?
new line.
Why is my name?
But I think they.
My name's in there.
So yeah, because it's separated by 2.
What do you mean your name's in there?
My last name's in there at the bottom.
Dudley.
Share?
Yeah,
Yeah.
geez, Dudley. So do you guys understand the difference between the three? Read puts everything in one long string. Read line is just the first line of the text. Read lines splits everything up by a backslash n and puts it in a list.
That's nice.
So if you want to read just the paragraphs, right? You want to read per paragraph, you would use read lines. If you want everything in one long string, what do you think you should use if we're doing regexes? If I want to search the Harry Potter text or the Bible text, should I use read line? Wait, hang on, where'd my examples go? Should I use read? Should I use read line, or should I use read lines?
To find that one specific sentence.
To find the one specific sentence, which one do I need?
Read line. Whoa.
Using a regex will find.
Can regexes
Can you
search
just do, like,
lists?
No.
No, they can't. So you have to use read lines.
Read line.
Just read.
Just read. It'll put everything in one long string, and then you search that one super long string.
Gotcha.
If
So
you
do like
if
content equals the open file dot read, and then you'd use content in your.
that's exactly it. So if we're looking, so let's say we in these first 1,000 lines, right? So this is what we're gonna do. New content is read the first 1,000 lines. We would do regex. Do I have a regex? Yes, I do. So we're actually going to redo that. Regex equals re.compile. And we're going to look for every time Mr. or Mrs. is used in this regex. So then we're going to go match object equals regex dot find all, and I'm going to put new underscore content Mr. Obviously I screwed something up because it's just Mr.
It's a dot.
Do you think it's the dot?
No, it's
Finding Mr. or Mrs.
Oh gosh.
Because it's whether or not it's there or not. So it's like every sentence or whatever. All right. This is when you go, okay, I don't want to spend the next 40 minutes trying to figure this out. Let me grab all of this.
control.
Not read lines, I want read, which is this one.
Maybe there's not a misses in. Oh, yeah.
And then where do you think I'm going to go right now?
Oh, maybe it's finding Mr. first and not finding the S.
Does the file need to be open to do the read, then brackets? Because mine says read isn't defined.
You have to have open file dot read parentheses. So the name of the file that you're opening dot read.
But you're doing read then brackets.
That's because earlier. No,
Oh.
no, it's not because I'm working in the shell. It's because
Wait,
earlier
wait a second.
I defined read
As what?
as
Open file.
as the content of reading it.
Okay.
What's up, Nick? What do you need?
Just keep it there for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to get that.
Yeah. So I don't want to spend the next half hour trying to figure out which I want Mr. and Mrs. I don't want to be running and reading and running and writing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Pythex. And as soon as Nick is good, we're good. I'm pasting a little bit of the text that I need. And then I'm going, all right, my regular expression. What do I need? I need Mr. or Mrs. followed by a period. Wait, why did that work?
Doesn't look at the match captures.
Yeah, it just got missed.
Oh, okay. So then, how do we do this?
It's only taking Mr. and Mrs.
So maybe we don't put it in a group. Maybe we go Mr. this S bracket 0 or more followed by a period. Nope. Maybe if we put this.
They got them all.
There we go. So it's finding them.
Thanks, man.
So now that I have this, I'm going to copy this and I'm going to go back to my code. Oh, no, that's not it. And see, plug that in there. And then, okay, there we go. Close enough, right? Questions on that? Okay, so I have 15 more minutes. Last thing I want to do before I let you guys free is writing to an actual file. So this, don't use example, or don't use the Bible or the Harry Potter. Have a blank document. So I'm going to go open file equals open, and this is example 1.txt. So this is my open file. This may or may not be the way you should actually. Open file is the one you're going to open, and then typically you can also do write file equals, and you can have this is the file I'm going to write to. But today we're just going to stick with open file because I already have that open. So then we're going to do open file dot write. What do you want to write, Matt?
Josh, what's this?
I thought this was optional.
You're charging your
Oh yeah, dude.
Okay, we ran into this yesterday. Why is this wrong?
Because I don't go to the store.
It's not right.
Appending. I don't know.
No, because this is saying, this is the thing that's online too. Like, this should be the updated one. Oh, so if file name doesn't exist, it'll pass to. So this is a fun little thing. I didn't know they did this. If the file name passed to open does not exist, both write and append will create a new blank file. After reading or writing the file close, call the close before opening again. So let's do a new file. So let's do a write file equals open. Yeah, no, that's right. Josh and the store.txt. And then, oh my gosh, write, and if I do write file dot write, okay, I know what I did wrong.
So when you open it, you have to.
When you open it, you have to. Now, hang on real quick. So we see Josh in the store, right? That txt file. We do not see anything here. You will never see anything until you close it. And even then, see, this is the Josh in the store. There's nothing there. I have to close it. And reopen it.
Gotcha.
So if you created a variable, would it like get rid of the variable, or would it?
What do you mean?
Like if you created a variable using the read, and then you close the file, would the variable still be the?
Mm-hmm.
And it would still work.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've closed. Oh dang it! I just pasted the entire works of here. Okay, good. It didn't do it. But yeah, read is still the file, even though I've closed it, and open file is something else. It saves that to a variable. Until I...
Save it to a variable right now.
Yeah, it is saved to a variable right now. So bracket.
So when I do that, it tells me it's not scriptable. It says built-in function or method object is not scriptable.
Dang it, I did it again. So in order for you to have read like I do, you have to have read equals open file dot read.
Oh, I didn't do the parentheses.
Yeah. That scared me for a second. I don't know what was going on.
Bombs, like in one of these.
Yeah. That's just the test tornado. I'm really glad it's not like stormy out right now.
It was raining earlier.
Because I'd be like, all right, well, we're going to the basement. It's easy. It's nice when I only have 4 kids to take care of, pay attention to.
That's the best with a fire drill or something.
1, 2, 3, 4. All right, I'm good. Even with like 10, it's like 15 or 20. I'm like, I hope. Who knows where they've gone since we've stood here. Okay, do you guys have questions on that? None at all. Cero. Nunca. No, it's never.
So when you add
Nada. Yeah.
So when you add the text to the regex, can you use read parentheses bracket colon?
Yeah, so you could do match object equals regex dot find all, and in here you could have open file dot read. That would work. I don't necessarily recommend that. I would recommend reading it and storing the information in a variable in case you need to use it later.
Okay.
But you can do that. And apparently it didn't find anything. What's my regex?
Mine didn't find anything.
Well, currently my open file is Josh went to the store. So I'm not going to find a Mr. or Mrs. and Josh went to the store. Okay, so what I want you guys to do, and then your homework is going to be find every verse, and I'm going to give you 5 words that are common, maybe one not so common. And what I want you guys to do is not holding a sneeze like that. If you can sneeze, sneeze. What I want you guys to what I want you guys to do is to add them, append them, and say, you know what, let me go over something real quick.
You didn't teach us.
Yes, I did. Don't tell me what I didn't do, Micah.
I don't remember.
Well, I'll go over it again because I'm a good teacher like that. So there are 2 ways you can write to a file. You can write to it, which overwrites what was there, and you can append to it. So what I want you guys to do for your Bible results, so Bible, so let's just do write file equals open, and we're going to go Bible results dot txt, and what you guys are going to want to do is you're going to want to put an A here. A is append, W is write. W will overwrite everything. So if this is something you want it to be overwritten every time, you don't want to save what was there before, throw an A in there. If you want, or I'm sorry, throw a W in there. If you want to append to the end, or as I like to think of it, if you want to add to it, put an A. And what this will allow you to do is every time you write file.write, I can go hello.
Add stuff to the end instead of.
Well, and then let me write file.close so we can actually see it. Now, if you look here, Bible results is a text file that it created. So you guys very well could. Part of what you guys can do with what you're learning is you can have a program that just creates infinite text files.
Crash someone's computer.
More just like select.
Just
Which
download it on a
which is why tomorrow we're having an ethical talking. Ethics and coding. Look, and it says hello. Okay? So cute.
Okay, now do another.
You're getting ahead of me. I'm going to open this. And I'm going to write goodbye. Write file.close. Now notice it's literally taking the string and putting it in there. So if you want it to be spaced out, what you'll need to do is we're going to open it. We're going to write, why did you leave me? Question. But what I need to do is I need to start this with a \n so that I know it goes to a new line, and then I'm going to put another \n in there. We're going to close
Would
it.
you assume that, should I assume that the Harry Potter thing is homework? And the
Harry Potter and Bible thing are homework, yeah. So you guys, the regex is just find the regex that gives the sentence. What I would do, honestly, is search either with Python or Control F in the text and copy and paste the entire paragraph the word shows up in into your Pythex and test your regex there, just as opposed to running it over and over. Last thing. You actually, so let me go.
It won't find it though. Just do print though. Yeah, I think so.
So for guys, real quick, open. So this is my write file again. So Bible results. This is going to be Potter results. I'm going to append to it and open. Okay. So we're going to go for ch in read lines if ch does not equal we are going to write file.write ch. So what did that just do? That went through. Oh, and now I need to
Just take a picture.
Mental picture. We go back.
It's just copying like a paragraph too.
well, what it does is it gets rid of all of the \n's.
Exactly.
So now, because in the paragraph there's no \n to tell the text document to go to a new line, these are just all one really, really long lines.
So why do you want to get rid of that?
Why does it even eventually go to a new line? Just because?
Because of print.
Can't just,
Or because of loops. Oh, no, because each one of these has a \n at the end.
oh.
So each individual element has its own \n. So this is a way you go through read lines and get rid of extraneous paragraphs that you don't need. So again, what I would do for your guys' homework is I would take this, the Harry Potter, and I would go Control F, and I'm looking for the letter and I'm looking for cloudy. All right, and then I'm gonna go. All right, so I'm gonna get all that, copy it. Let's go to Pythex, and now I'm looking for the word cloudy. But not only cloudy, I want
The whole sentence.
the whole sentence before.
So basically, you could do period.
I want all of that, right? So when you are looking for pocketed it, I want the entire sentence. It's okay if you include like the period before of the sentence before. That's fine, because that's how else you're going to find the start of the sentence. But you need to display all of that. That needs to be your regex. And then you guys are going to have a homework assignment of searching the Bible with the reference of the verse of finding based on words that I give you. There may be time to work on it tomorrow in class, or maybe not. I'll go over and answer questions tomorrow.
So when's it due?
It'll be due tomorrow after class.
After class is relative.
It is. And I never said if it's after this class or if it's after the class on tomorrow. So it could be due at 12 midnight tonight.